Happy Monday, Josh with Signaliz.com. Pretty excited to show you what we're doing with the API and why Signaliz is really just becoming something you can't live without. I know that sounds so cheesy, but let me just show you, and I think that will give you a little bit better perspective. So, just to give you an idea, you can sign up for Signaliz pretty easy. If you come here, I'm going to sign out just so we can sign in. Get started, sign up. You're going to get 1,000 free credits, plenty to work with to start. Fill out your information. You'll get an email, confirm your email, and then you'll be brought into the platform. So let me log in real quick for us here. And that way we can see what we're talking about within Signaliz. So I'm going to get in, and right away, a couple things I want to show you. If you're going to use the API, which I would highly recommend, go to Settings, go to API Keys, and just create an API key. And you can do that pretty easy. You can say test, create a key, and you're going to get one, and you can copy it real quick into Clay, for example, or N8N. And those are some of our integrations that we have live now. So once you do that, I wanted to show you how powerful this is within Clay, right? So I've taken and pulled in about 44,000 company records, right? That's a lot. I think I did SaaS or software searches. Let's see. Yeah, software development, US, 1 to 10 million, right? So obviously with this feature in Clay, find companies, it's pretty easy to pull in companies by any filter type. And then what we did with Signaliz is we just added the API. So I'm going to show you real quickly here what this looks like. The nice thing is within Signaliz, we have built a table for you. So you can just come into the Help Center here. And if you come down to where it says using with Clay, and you say using Signaliz API in Clay, we have a table for you to copy. So it doesn't make it, that way you don't have to worry about doing all the API work and everything else, right? When you do that, you're going to get this template here, which is called, we'll just label it for you, Signaliz API. And what that gives you is the ability to call the API. So just some basic things on how the API works. You can inject the company name, which I'm doing from this table here, right there, and then the domain as well. The domain is not required, though I think it kind of impacts the ability of, the models to find the company. So obviously it's ideal, but it's not required. And then this is your research prompt. Now keep in mind, you can ask anything. I've done, tell me why this company is a good fit for Signaliz.com. I've done find recent funding, even some extremely complex questions, right? The idea here was to be able to give you the ability to prompt into finding signals versus having like typical tools, you have to choose the signals you want. Here, you can prompt into signals. You can tell it how far back you want it to look, and I'm going to show you some examples of this. And then you can give it any model that is available in OpenRouter, right? So that's kind of a big deal. We go to OpenRouter here, and we look at models, and we think of all the different models that are there. GPT 5.1 just came out last week. I would tell you, you want to balance cost and efficiency. So some good models to use, for example, with Google, if you use Google Flash, and that's Gemini 2.5 is a good example. Flash is one that you can use. With Grok, you can use Grok 4 Fast right here. And then any of the GPT models, any of the cloud models, just keep in mind, the more model power you apply, the more expensive it's going to be. Whereas if you use some more rudimentary models, like from OpenAI, let's just say GPT 4.1 Mini is a great one, where the input tokens are extremely cost effective and so are the output. So when you use this model, you're going to get signals that are real time that are extremely cost effective, right? But within Clay or within the API, we wanted to give you that option because we feel like the more you use this, the more you'll understand, like some models will go deeper than others, some models will cost more, but this one's a great example of a model that finds great signals, finds relevant signals, and does so for very, very cost effective means. So obviously my API key is displayed here. We'll get rid of that after the video, so you can put in your own. But let me just show you how this works in real time, right? So I've been running some in here, and as you can see, we're getting different results depending on what we ask. So let me show you in real time how this works, right? So let's just take a couple of these companies. If you remember, I'll pull up the API key here, and you can see we got 4-1 mini. We're going back 60 days. We're finding recent signals of growth, new hires, and job postings. So those are really three different things: people that haven't been hired yet, job postings, new hires, and then growth, right? So kind of a mixed bag there. So we'll do a few live here, and we'll see what happens. And then we'll just show you like how Signaliz puts that together here. So I'm just going to push them. I would say this is relatively fast. You can run thousands at a time if you want. And keep in mind, it's not always going to find signals, right? Because not everybody has indications of growth or hiring or recent funding or whatever you're asking, right? So that's the good thing. And, some of the caveats here, right, is we're not going to charge you if we don't find anything. That's stupid. So you'll see that. I'm going to be very clear and transparent. So if you noticed in the API call, we asked for signals very specifically in the last 60 days. All of these that were found, this one's still running, are all in the last 60 days. So we ran 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 results, clearly all in the last 60 days. If you go into the data, you can see the cost here, and we charge 1 credit and we round down. Right? So we're charging 1 penny for this. This was our API cost. We love transparency. I believe in it. And so we charge 1 penny for this, and that's the 1 base credit only. And we're going to give you the signals, both of them. So here you can see very clearly on 10/16, this company seeks a data scientist. And then here is the job link as well. We believe in transparency as well around providing you the data. So we're going to give you the links every time we return a result. And then we have another signal down here. Again, they integrated with Whippy AI for enhanced delivery management in October. This is on October 1st, so this is speaking to the growth. Within every signal, there's a relevance score, and then there is a specific relevance reason. So while not a direct new hire job posting, this signal indicates growth, just what I was saying. Up here at the top, the signal directly addresses new hire and job postings, right? So exactly speaking to what we asked in the prompt, if you remember. We've got some summary data here about the company. We've got key themes about the signals. We've got relevance information specifically about the signal, why it's relevant. And then we have an overall relevance score, and we give you an executive summary. So all of those columns can be exported. You can see here I've exported the signal date, the content, the relevance, the title of the signal, the score, the amount of credits charged. If you notice where there's no results, there are 0 credits. And then we see the signal sources. If you wonder, do they really work? Let me click on one just so you can see. And there you go. For B Capital is the data science posting for ship day, right? So real sources, real API cost. I don't think it could be any more transparent. So that's really the goal with this, right? And then lastly, I just want to show you what happens if I run it again. And this time, I'm just going to take out the look back days. So this time, I'm not going to limit it to the last 60 days. And then we will save it here, save and don't run. And then let's just run a few more so we can see what happens. So remember, if you just want to go a little bit deeper, like maybe you don't want to say last 60 days, maybe you want to say 30 days, maybe you don't care. You just want to find any signal for that company because you're doing a bulk campaign on cold outreach, then this eliminates the 60-day look back. And so it's going to come and look for any signals, period, that it can find for that company around those particular topics. And so you can see we're getting results now from August. But we're still getting a lot of recent results, getting results from July here. So that's what the 60-day thing does. It eliminates that. And then lastly, I just want to share with you is that this is just the API. There's a lot more we can do in the platform, but I don't know how people would not want to increase their outreach on LinkedIn, cold email, using signals when you can do that for less than, you can do that for a penny a signal, and you're not getting charged when you're not getting results. So hopefully this helps, provides a little bit of clarity for you. Look forward to trying out Signaliz and appreciate you taking the time to watch the video.